So Rick, we've kind of touched on the idea of, aiming for zero harm. And that's something Paul O'Neill talked about, of course. That's something we advocate for at Value Capture. Could you tell us about Duke Health's language about, as it's described there, a commitment to zero harm? How do you make sure that's not just a slogan and make sure that that really helps drive practical and meaningful change and progress?
Well, I think to the point that Leah made earlier, it is now a part of the culture. So every huddle every morning from tier 1 through tier 4 begins with that statement that we are here gathered for the purpose of committing to zero. I will tell you that it continues to be a point of contention with some in our organization. Just as when I first started talking about perfect patient care, people said, "What's wrong with you?" That's not possible. But we've adopted the philosophy that I'm not going to fight it. I'm just going to say, okay, then just become the best at getting better. If you're the best unit at Duke at getting better, we'll get to zero. We'll get to perfect. But just commit to me for me that you will work to be the best at getting better. And that translates much better to people, for those that just don't believe in zero. And it's motivating to them. But it is about creating that culture and beginning every day with that kind of a pledge, puts in front of our entire team, 2,500 managers across our organization, something that we're really trying to aspire to. And so I think that's part of it. Leah and I were talking, and let me just sort of splice this in for a second. We're also thinking that looking at Duke-specific clinical outcomes could be a next new chapter for us in getting to improvement. So what do I mean by that? If you come to Duke, what's your 5-year survival from lung cancer? If you come to Duke and have your gallbladder out, what's your complication rate? And when do you return to work? Beginning to create around this idea of measurement, assessments of the quality of the clinical product. And, what we're able to now layer on top of that is something that is critically important at the moment. Are those outcomes the same for everybody? And so you can look at them through the lens of race and ethnicity. So we're really beginning to say, okay, you can capture a lot of the safety elements that we've been focused on if you look at the broader context of a quality clinical product. Because the worst thing to destroy the quality of an outcome is to have a complication. It clearly remains the biggest factor that disrupts an outcome. So thinking about reframing some of this, perhaps partnering with some professional societies who do a really good job in building these, but aren't particularly public about them, Leah. I think that's a challenge. I think this might be a next chapter for us.